So welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Regis Boxing and Limitless Creations. And with me now, I've got Adam again. It couldn't have been that bad first time.
That's it. You let me
It's
back on.
Back for more. But yeah, we got an intriguing fight this time, Adam. But before we get into it, we're going to hit the intro.
Are you ready?
Yeah, so here we are for another prediction show. But as I say, bit of an interesting one, this one. A lot of people have been divided. I don't know how, but yeah, over to you, Adam. Let us know what it is.
So this is a really interesting one. So you've got Regis Prograis, the former WBA light welterweight champion of the world, and Tyrone McKenna, who is, I think he made to the final of the gold contract, and I couldn't tell you what he's won particularly, but he is just a brilliant character. Just one of those people that makes it always really interesting. The build-up to the O'Hara-Davis fight, while slightly contrived, was pretty watchable and enjoyable. And as a fight, it's one of those really random fights that just appears every now and again in boxing.
Yeah, I think, it's going to be an interesting one. As we say, Prograis, we've got 27 fights, 26 wins, 22 knockouts. Tyrone McKenna, 25 fights, 22 wins, 1 draw, and 6 knockouts. On paper, we love paper fights. Always sounds great. But for me, Tyrone, as great as he sells a fight, he can actually box, but he just chooses to get in a brawl. And I don't know how many more he's going to be able to take of these, to be honest, because at the end of each fight, he looks so knackered and battered. How many more of those sort of fights can you get into? And now he's going in against a guy that some say is elite. Yeah,
I thought he was, personally. I thought when I watched Josh's run through the 140-pound division, the man I looked at and went, this guy, if Josh beats this man, he's the best light welterweight in the world, and it was Prograis. I thought Prograis was a better fighter than Ramirez. I thought he was a better fighter than Baranchek, and he's one of the most frustrating careers going. He's now caught in this kind of weird middle ground where he's not quite can't make the weight anymore, which I think this is at 143. But he's not big enough. He's only about 5'8". I don't believe he's 5'8". And Tyrone's massive. Tyrone's about 6 foot. But I think, like you said, Tyrone's biggest asset, despite the fact he's a really competent boxer, is he's brave and he's tough. And unfortunately, I think that's going to really play against him in this fight.
Yeah. It's almost his biggest advantage is his physicality, but his biggest disadvantage is his physicality.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost like he's stuck in that ground, as you were saying, where you really want him to do well, Tyrone. He's a likable guy. He always chucks out stuff out there to draw in the audience. You know, his press conferences are always good.
He makes it a watch.
But I just think this is a fight he's not going to win.
No, I've got a couple of things that I'm just like that they don't stack up particularly well. So Prograis, like we said, there's a big size difference. But you watch McKenna. McKenna doesn't fight as if he's a tall man. So he's going to close his own gap. And that's the worst thing he can do because he wants to maintain the distance as much as he can. Prograis is really good on the inside and he's got really heavy hands. Like if you look at McKenna, 24% KO ratio. Prograis has an over 80% KO ratio. And as soon as you start getting up into the world level, that ratio really starts to take a dip. And Prograis has been pretty consistent.
Yeah. So, Adam, what's your prediction?
I think Prograis knocks him out in the mid-rounds. 4-8. Just depends on how much McKenna's got left. I just think it's a levels thing. I think Tyrone struggled against O'Hara-Davis. I think he lost against Mamoon, which again is another bad scorecard that we can consign to history. And I thought Prograis was nip and tuck with Josh. I think this is a levels fight, and unfortunately, I'd like McKenna to win, but I think Prograis knocks him out.
Yeah. I think it's one of those where, Tyrone's best chance is early on.
Yeah,
it is early on, but I just think, like you say, Prograis got that power that he can match McKenna with, and I think it's going to be mid to late round stoppage for Prograis. The record states, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you know, I'm there. I'm going to do damage. And although McKenna, has got that power, 6 knockouts out of 22 wins, it just shows he's not really using it.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where he's got so many assets you could use better than he does, but he loves to fight. It's one of the reasons you like watching Irish boxers. They're just nuts.
Yeah.
to be it to their own detriment. The only thing that I was kind of looking at that I thought this kind of favours McKenna is he's been more active. Like Prograis had pretty much one fight a year since Taylor, which is not good enough. And I think a lot of the upsets you're seeing these days are coming from either for fighters with COVID or for fighters been consistently inactive, which Prograis has. So I think that's probably the one thing that favours McKenna, but I think the rest of the card just all stacks towards Prograis.
Yeah. The experience is going to...
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where it's going to come in, isn't it? But, well, we look forward to that one as well. Going to be another cracker, probably a barnstormer.
Yeah,
for how long?
That'll be fun.
How long is going to be the question. But, Adam, thank you for joining me.
Pleasure.
And we'll see you all soon. Make sure that you leave in the comments what you think about the fight. Going to be a cracker.
Yeah,
but Adam, thank you very much.
Cheers,
see you soon.
Oh,